Hello everyone and welcome back to Neptune's Child Tarot. Thank you all so much for being here, for your continued love and support on the channel. If you would like to book a private reading with me, you can find my email down below in the description box. Just send me an email and I will provide you with more information on booking readings as well as other services with me. So today's pick a card reading, we are doing a message from your ancestors. So we do have 3 crystals out here for you to choose from. If you do feel drawn to one of the crystals right now, you can go ahead and skip right to the timestamp. It'll take you directly to your reading. But I am going to be adding in one of these cards to help you with choosing your group today. And group number 1's crystal is a flower agate. Group 2's is a fuchsia crystal here. It's actually a quartz that's been dyed this fuchsia color. And then for group number 3, we have a snowflake obsidian. Okay. So group number 1 with the flower agate, a message from your ancestors. We have the crow. Number 13 with the flower agate. So group 2 with the fuchsia crystal. A message from your ancestors. We have card number 46, the serpent, and that is with the fuchsia crystal. Group number 3 with the snowflake obsidian. A message from your ancestors. Group number 3. We have the arrow, card number 3. Okay, so those are the choices for today. Pause the video if you need a little bit more time with the crystals, the cards, and I will see you at your reading. Hi, group 1. So those of you that resonated with the crow, card number 13, this is going to be your reading today. And so we're asking Spirit about a message from your ancestors. Okay. So let's see what this message is. A message from group 1's ancestors. We've got the Page of Cups. Six of Swords. Message from group 1's ancestors. King of Wands. 7 of Wands. We've got the World. 3 of Swords in reverse. Judgment. Okay, so this feels like there's some, okay, yeah, I was going to say this is about in a relationship. Some of you are dealing with a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. We've also got Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Some of you, this is an Aquarius. And there's also Taurus, okay, dealing with the Taurus. It feels like there's a decision here that you're needing to make as it relates to some type of romantic situation here. Some of you, this is a partner that you're actually with, like you are in a committed relationship with this person. This feels, this is a challenging energy here that you're dealing with. The Five of Cups is about grief, sadness, depression, maybe even disappointment in a person that you're dealing with. Some of you may have been dealing with a breakup, okay, or a divorce. Some of you, this is an ex-partner. And it kind of feels like those of you that are dealing with an ex-partner, or even this kind of feels like what we're actually dealing with is like being at a crossroads right now as it relates to a romantic connection. And there's a big decision that you're needing to make about this relationship. And you might have grief over making that decision. Some of you, you could feel very torn about either reconciling with someone. Somebody may have come forward with an apology here. And of course, you have a choice if this person has come forward with an apology of whether or not to accept that apology and to bring renewal to this connection, meaning that the two of you get back together. Or if there is, where you're in a committed relationship with this person and there's been some kind of an apology here, whether or not you want to move forward with trying to keep pushing forward to try to heal and reconcile with the person, or whether or not to leave. Okay, so this feels like a very big decision of whether or not to stay or go. Stay or go. There's definitely feelings that are involved here. And the Judgment card is a wake-up call. It can be a need for us to have like a final decision about what we're doing. Are we in or are we out? And of course, that choice is, you know, yours to make. It is your free will. So why are your ancestors bringing this up? Why are they bringing it up? Maybe it's because they're noticing that you're feeling, they're noticing the pain here. Some of you, there's pain, there's trying to heal, like you're trying to heal from something painful. Some of you, this is some type of betrayal here. Some of you, it's infidelity, cheating, or some other form of betrayal here, okay? If you are someone who is deciding that you want to heal things with this person, you know, the Seven of Wands is here, which is about boundaries, a need for setting boundaries. So maybe some of you need to set boundaries with the person. There's also a need for you to protect your energy, okay? This can also be about resilience and perseverance, overcoming challenges and obstacles here. So I feel like I want to look at this Judgment here, Judgment. Some of you that are hurting and are healing, you know, this could be a time with the Page of Cups showing up. This could be a time for self-love, a time for nurturing the self. Why is Judgment here? Seven of Pentacles, Queen of Cups. Yeah. The Queen of Cups does represent feelings, emotions, but more so ones that are stable. Okay? We cannot make this decision about whether or not to stay or go when we're feeling very emotional about something. It's hard for us to be clear. So we need to stabilize our emotions. And the Seven of Pentacles is about taking time to reassess, reevaluate when you are stable. Okay? The Wheel of Fortune, especially with the feelings here, the Wheel of Fortune is, you know, about change and about major turning point in our life. You may be at a major turning point in this relationship right now where you have a big decision to make. Like I said, it kind of feels like, are we staying or are we going? Are we moving on from this? Are we divorcing? Are we ending this relationship? Am I ending the situation with this person? And some of you, your emotions could be shifting very rapidly, especially if you've gone through some kind of betrayal recently, okay? I know from personal experience and also watching other people, friends and stuff like that, that I've had, family members, it's a lot. And you can go through a roller coaster of emotions where one minute you feel hopeful, positive, happy, like we can do this, I can heal, to the next moment, anger, bitter, resentful, rage, and you're all over the place. So one minute you feel like, that's it, I'm done. And the next 5 minutes later, okay, I'm fixing this. We can work on this. So you want to make sure that you're in a place that is stable, okay, in order for you to make this decision. Because with the Wheel of Fortune here, you know, this is, in a way, you're choosing your destiny. Okay, so it's an important decision that we need to weigh out carefully of whether or not we're continuing on. Okay, if there have been, and of course, like I said, the choice is yours. I don't want to say this is what you have to do, this is what you don't have to do. It's your choice. But it's an important one, because I'll just use an example. Let's just say for some of you, this person has really hurt you. Okay? And maybe you're not ready to, if ever, to forgive what this person has done. But if we continue on, right, knowing this has happened, some of you might even be in a place where you forgive. But we don't forget what has happened, you know? Some of you may have done something here, because the Five of Cups can also be about regret and guilt and shame. If you're the one who cheated or lied or betrayed, you know? But either way, the focus of the message here is that we're at a turning point in this relationship and there's a big decision to be made. The Seven of Pentacles, sometimes we can feel the energy of success being unfulfilled. So it's basically, are you happy? Are you happy? Do you feel like you're being loved? Do you feel like you're being nurtured? Do you feel like you're receiving what you need? This is a time to reassess. So a spirit is asking you here, your ancestors are asking you to reassess your relationship. Do we keep going? Or do we bring an end to this? Because the Wheel of Fortune can also talk about cycles, right? Is this a pattern here? Let's just say if there's been some type of betrayal or lying or manipulation, does this keep happening? Is it worth trying to continue to keep going here? I'm going to clarify this. Why is this Wheel of Fortune here? Six of Cups. Magician in reverse, Chariot in reverse. Now, I will say this. If you are someone who's wanting to work on your relationship with this person, and this person has hurt you, you can't bring the past with you. Okay? It's not going to work. I feel like that's what your ancestors are telling you here, because the Magician energy in reverse is a lack of focus. The inability to focus. So if we're trying to heal and we're trying to move forward and we're trying to move on and we're trying to reconcile, can you let the past go? You cannot bring it with you. You know, and I don't feel in any way where your ancestors are saying to you, you need to forgive this person. But if we're going to start fresh, start new, because that's what judgment is about. Wiping the slate clean, making peace with the past. If that means forgiveness for those of you that are ready to do that, it's not necessary, okay? I am someone who personally believes that if someone has hurt you, that we forgive for ourselves. We do it for us, not for them. You do it for you. Some of you might not want to forgive someone at all, and that's your choice. But if we're wanting to move forward with this person, especially for those of you that are wanting to, you know, overcome the challenges right now and try to heal the relationship because both you and the other person care about each other, love each other, you cannot bring the past with you. It's dead weight. The Chariot in reverse is a blockage. We cannot move forward with this past. So you have to make a choice, you know, and I don't feel like your ancestors are like, you need to hurry up right now and telling you, you know, that you've got to hurry up and, you know, hurry up and get over it, but you have to make a choice. If you're making the conscious decision to say, okay, I'm going to stay in this relationship and I'm going to work on healing, commit yourself to that. Commit yourself to that. Because otherwise, if we stay stuck in the past and continue to, you know, suffer, keep ourselves in a place of suffering by holding on to the past, we're not going to move forward. We're not going to make progress. We're not going to restore harmony, balance in the relationship. Okay? Now, for those of you where you're like, okay, this person has done something here and I can't forget it. And because of that, we can't move forward. So is it worth it for us to continue? Or is it better for us to let each other go? Right? Because sometimes if we're finding, even if we want to, right, we love the person and we're like, okay, we've hurt each other, or I've hurt you, you've hurt me, and we can't let go of the past, we're going to keep ourselves and keep running into the same cycle, same block over and over and over again, and not be able to overcome it. So if we're finding that we're repeating these cycles here with a constant block, how are we going to progress and move past that, right? If we're noticing that it's just not working no matter what we do, and we're just not moving forward from the past, that's an issue. That's an issue, you know? And of course you won't know until you try, you know? Because you can go into it with intention and say, you know what? Okay, I am receiving your apology, or I'm apologizing to you. Let's try to work on things. And if you find that the past keeps coming up, that's where Spirit is asking you, reassess here, reevaluate. Because they're watching the struggle, right? The ancestors are watching the struggle, are watching the block. And if we're going to and trying to move forward, we need to let the past go. Because in a way, that Judgment card is freeing ourselves from the pain, the heartbreak, the suffering, right? We can't change what's happened. It's already done. But we can choose not to suffer any longer. We can choose to focus our intention on moving forward, on having the willpower to move forward. So again, I'm not going to tell you what to do here. I don't feel like your ancestors are trying to tell you what to do. But if we're going to make a decision to keep going with this person, we need to let the past go because it's a block. If that means we need to forgive ourselves, if that means we need to forgive them, if it means that we're not forgiving, and like I said, that's totally okay. Some of you might never be in a place where you want to forgive someone, and that's okay. That's how you feel. That's perfectly okay. You're perfectly fine and doing whatever works for you. Okay? But we can't keep letting it come up over and over again. And if you're finding yourself in that place where you can't get past it because it keeps coming up, we need to make a choice. Is it really healthy to continue on here? Or is it better to let go? You know? I want to see this Chariot in reverse. Queen of Wands, the Hierophant. Yeah, healing is definitely needed here. Some of you, this is a marriage. I'm seeing the Four of Swords here, the Five of Swords, and the Queen of Pentacles. Some of you have a lot of healing to do here. There might be a lot of anger, a lot of resentment, a lot of hurtful exchange of words. You know, some of you have been betrayed. And it's weighing heavily. Some of you, this might not even have to do with this person. Some of you, this could be something from your past. You know, where you could be, for some of you, having trust issues. So the past is a block here. The Six of Cups. This could, like I said, it could even be something tied to childhood for some of you. The past is a block. So it needs your attention. We need to kind of, you know, look a little deeper within the self. And like I said, don't make the decision when you're very emotional and you're kind of all over the place, all mixed up. We want to have clarity. Some of you need to heal. Okay, to really work on healing here. So I want to ask Spirit here what your advice is. What is the advice from Group 1's ancestors? What is the advice from Group 1's ancestors? We have unfolding. What is the advice from Group 1's ancestors? Toxic. And grief. You know, some of you, it could be that your relationship is toxic with this person. It could be that you're toxic, they're toxic. I want to clarify this toxic here. What is this toxic? Ace of Swords, Four of Cups. Some of you are ignoring. It could be that you've got a blind spot with this person. You're not seeing the truth. Okay. You're ignoring the truth. Overlooking it. Four of Cups could be overlooking, ignoring, blind spot. Some of you, it could be that the person is not meeting your emotional needs. They're emotionally unavailable. It could be that the person is rejecting you. There could also be boredom. The Hanged Man. Yeah. You know, the Hanged Man it's a need for surrender. It's a need, for some of you, it's letting go of the person, letting go of the relationship. The Hanged Man can be about a change of perspective, receiving insight, enlightenment, having clarity. If it's something that we're ignoring and something that we're not seeing is how it's toxic, the relationship's toxic. Like I said, you're toxic, they're toxic, the two of you together is toxic. The Hanged Man is where we have the epiphany. The clarity, the realization here of something that we're ignoring and not paying attention to. What is the unfolding here? King of Pentacles in reverse. Ace of Cups. King of Pentacles in reverse. Ten of Pentacles. Okay. So what's unfolding here, again, this is where there's a choice here. We're either going to leave, okay? Or with that Ace of Cups, we're trying to bring some type of renewal here to try to heal. But I feel like it's also important for you to look are you being toxic? Are they being toxic? Of course, we can't change them. We could focus on ourselves, though. We could notice our own toxic traits. I feel like I want to look at that. What is this Four of Cups here? There's, you know, also the King of Pentacles is a loss of security. Which I'm sure for those of you that, you know, have gone through betrayal, that loss of security is there. Because if you've gone through that, you know, with a partnership or a marriage, that person is your person. They are, you know, the one that you depend on, that you rely upon. And when you go through betrayal, it's ripped away. It's torn away. It makes you feel insecure. So the Lovers in reverse, you know, for some of you, it could very well be that the person is no longer in alignment with you. It could be that we're ignoring the fact that maybe it's a relationship that does need to come to an end. Are we trying to force it to work? Yeah, some of you might be in denial, okay? You know, you may have gone through a lot with this person energetically, and some of you are in denial. Ignoring it, choosing not to see it, not to look at it, maybe even to admit it to yourself, you know? That's the denial part of it. Not wanting to look at it, Two of Swords. That makes me want to cry here. But, you know, because for those of you that are in marriages, committed relationships, it's like you don't want it to be that. You know, because we might love the person, or we don't want to see it. We're not ready to, or we don't want to admit it. Yeah, some of you might be some of you might even be putting in so much effort into trying to make it work, and working so hard. And you might even feel like that person doesn't see you, doesn't pay attention, is not reciprocating the energy. And that could lead to a lot of disappointment, discouragement, even depression, some of you might be depressed right now. Neglected, Four of Cups, neglected. You know, so I can totally see why your ancestors are like, no, something's got to change here. You know, judgment is like a huge wake-up call. You know, something's got to change. It's basically what your ancestors are saying. We can't continue on like this. Something needs to change. If they're seeing you sad and crying, and hurting, they don't want to see you go through that. They want you to be happy, you know, and yeah, they're acknowledging your grief, your pain. Some of you, it's kind of like you're wanting the other person to see you, to love you, to value you, to prioritize you, to pay attention to you, to nurture you. Yeah, and it's there's a block here, okay? Maybe some of your ancestors are like telling you straight out, like, this person doesn't see you. They don't value you. They don't appreciate you, you know? And that should be confirmation of your own intuition, okay? This shouldn't be the first time that you're hearing this or the first time that you're feeling it. You should resonate with that in your soul if this is true for you, what I'm saying to you right now. Okay? If you feel like this person doesn't value you, doesn't appreciate you, doesn't, you know, connect with you in the way that you want and you desire emotional bonding and connection, should we still continue to move forward? Okay. All right, so I'm going to leave this here for you, group number 1. I do hope this reading was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Hi, group 2. So those of you that resonate with the serpent and the fuchsia crystal here, card number 46, this is going to be your reading today. So we're finding out a message from your ancestors, what message they have for you. So we're going to pull the tarot first. And just kind of leaving it for whatever they want to talk about, whatever they're trying to bring to your attention. Could really be about anything. A message from your ancestors, group 2. What is the message? What message do your ancestors have for you, group 2? We have the Page of Cups. We have the Hierophant. What message do your ancestors have for you? 9 of Cups. The Sun. Message from your ancestors. Page of Wands, 4 of Swords. Okay. I was going to say, this kind of feels like for some of you, you're being torn in, it feels like 2 different directions here with this might have to do, yeah, there it is. I was going to say, there's the 2 of Wands. That's the 2 directions there. This might have to do with career for some of you. Your career path. Or maybe it's your spiritual path. King of Cups, the Lovers, the 6 of Wands. Okay, so yeah. This feels like this message from your ancestors is them kind of acknowledging that you have some type of heart's desire. Okay. But there's a need for finding the inner strength, courage, bravery, confidence to face your fears, to overcome your fears here. Because this whatever this thing is that your heart's desire is something that is going to bring about wish fulfillment, emotional fulfillment. And you may have already been spending some time thinking about it, reflecting upon it. Some of you, it's going back to school. It involves education. It involves studying, learning. Maybe that means completely changing career paths for some of you, because I feel that you're at this crossroads here. This is planning, making choices, choosing your path, basically. Choosing your path. And with the King of Cups being present, this is a need to choose the path that's your heart desire is. Okay? Page of Wands is here, which is about exploring. It's about discovery. Here I'm seeing this snake here. It actually looks like it has like 2 sides, right? Like it's going in 2. That's where I was getting the 2 different directions here. But then this popped up. That's confirmation for me of the 2 directions that you're going in. So the 5 of Wands in reverse is you overcoming the inner conflict with making this shift or this change. Some of you might be really in your head, like thinking and thinking and thinking and overthinking. Some of you might feel like you're in like in some kind of cycle here that you're trying to get yourself out of. It feels like maybe like it's like a dead end job. Like where you're wanting change. You're wanting some kind of change. You're wanting to change your life. You're wanting improvement, not only with abundance and success, but also to feel more fulfilled. to feel more satisfied with your life, to feel happy, to make changes in your life that are going to bring about a life that you feel happy with. And some of you might feel like you've been stuck in a rut, with things just being the same, and you want the change. So 2 of Wands, there's your crossroad. So really, I feel like the message here is that your ancestors are trying to encourage you to be brave and to be strong and courageous and positive and optimistic about this new journey, about allowing yourself to try something new, do something new, to get yourself out of this cycle of being stuck. Okay, let's look at this Wheel of Fortune in reverse. Page of Swords. Was that the King of Swords? Yeah. Yeah. So Page of Swords is about getting information, researching, studying something. So maybe this is a time for you to look things up. You know, we have 3 pages here. The pages are new energy. So this is like starting something new here. So when we're starting something new, we take ourselves back to the beginner's mindset, right? When we're starting something. So this is a lot of creative energy here. So if we're wanting to do something more creative or something that feels that we're passionate about, we want to look into things. We want to explore a little bit. We want to look online, or we want to go to maybe ask questions, get information, talk to someone. Maybe we're going to talk to someone who could give us some advice, someone who's a good counsel, someone who has a lot of wisdom and knowledge about things, something that we're interested in. We've got the 6 of Wands here as well. Yeah, I definitely feel like it's your ancestors bringing to attention the cycle that you've been in, where you're not moving forward. You know, sometimes when we're in the Wheel of Fortune in reverse energy, we feel like we're dealing with, like, nothing's going our way, things are not aligning, we're not seeing the success, we're not seeing the abundance, things are just not maybe going well. Maybe we're dealing with a lot of difficult things in our life right now, and we're just kind of like wanting change. And that's what your ancestors are kind of bringing your attention to, for you to be real. Maybe it's a need for you to look at your life, look at the choices, look at, get clarity on what it is that you want, making the decision to take action, to move forward, to create the change that you wish to see in your life, so that you are living a life that feels more rewarding, more fulfilling, that you feel happy about, that you feel abundant with in many different ways. Why is this 2 of Wands here? Yeah, the High Priestess, that's your intuition. Queen of Swords in reverse. So it almost kind of feels like maybe for some of you, you're not trusting your intuition. There's a lack of clarity here. There's maybe a need for you to tune into your intuition a little bit more. Some of you might have self-sabotaging thoughts that could be blocking out, drowning out your inner voice. Thinking negative about something, feeling like it's like, I can't do this, like all the negative, okay? It's not possible, I can't do this, I can't make this happen. Like feeling defeated, especially for those of you that have been stuck in a cycle here where things have not been great. You do have the power to change it. You can take control of your life back, to change course, to change direction. But you have to be willing to take the lead. because this is where you need to take inspired action. We can't just wait for things to get better. We have to create the change that we wish to see. Start looking at things carefully. Start making decisions. Come up with a plan. Take that first step. Clarify the Hierophant here. Some of you could have limiting beliefs, you know, that you need to take a look at here. The Tower. Yeah, some of you might be at a job right now that's no longer in alignment. Okay. It's not meeting your needs. Maybe it doesn't pay you enough. Maybe it's not making you feel fulfilled. Yeah, we got the Five of Cups here, and the Fool is right underneath that with the Hermit. Okay, so the Hermit is about directing your attention inwards. This is the path of self-discovery. This is also when we're at a turning point in our life where we feel lost. How did I get here? Where am I going? What am I doing? Am I happy? Do I feel fulfilled? This is where we have to really ask ourselves those deeper questions. What do I want? This is where we get to know ourselves more. Explore what our passions are. What are you passionate about, group 2? What are your passions? Sometimes we don't know. I've done readings for people where I've asked them what they were passionate about and they didn't know. What do you feel like your calling is? I don't know. What do you feel like your purpose is? I don't know. And it's because we haven't really taken that time for ourselves. Sometimes we're so distracted, right, by other people, family, friends, work, and we're just so busy that we don't have time to think about ourselves. Right? So this is your ancestors wanting you to spend time in reflection and to really think about where you're at right now, at this point in your life. Where are you going? What do you want? What do you desire? What is your heart's desire? What are you passionate about? And if we don't know yet, we can try something new. Even taking like a little class, right? Like, let's just say we go take an art class and we're doing something new. We're stepping outside of our comfort zone. This is about opening yourself up to new experiences, new possibilities. The Fool is Uranus energy. Uranus is about huge change, huge transformation, radical change, revolutionary change. So, I mean, you could do something that's, right, complete polar opposite of what you're doing right now. Completely different direction. But if you don't let yourself explore, if you don't let yourself try new things, you won't know what your passions are, right? You could take a whole new class and say, okay, that sounds interesting, let me take it. And see if we like it. Is it inspiring us? Does it inspire even more creative ideas within us? Because then that could be our jumping off point for exploring further. And if we don't like it, okay, let's try something else. Let's look at something else. Let's open ourselves up to exploring different things, because that's how we truly find, I like this. This is something I really like here. But we won't know if we don't let ourselves try it. If we don't step outside of our comfort zone. If we don't change things up. Otherwise, we get ourselves stuck in that rut, right? Of everything's the same, day in, day out, no changes, still unhappy, and we're not making change here. Okay, so let's see what your advice is here, group number 2. What is your advice? Unexpected. We have, past life. Okay. Attention. And joy. Okay. So this makes me feel that there is something here that you may already have a lot of knowledge with. I feel like this is about you remembering who you are, remembering what your purpose is. I'm just going to say, I'm noticing the way that she's kind of holding this little rabbit here. Maybe for some of you, it's, I don't think that's all of you. I feel like it's a very specific message for someone's confirmation. If you feel a very strong connection to animals, you know, maybe for some of you, it's working with animals in some way. Okay. What is the unexpected here? Ace of Wands. Okay, so the Ace of Wands is about a divine inspiration, a creative spark. The Death card is about change. So this is inspired change. Expect the unexpected. Seven of Swords. I feel like Spirit's saying don't run from change. Don't fear change. If you're feeling this feeling inside of you that's saying, I want change, I'm feeling the need for change, go with that. Trust it. Okay. What is the tension here? King of Pentacles. Some of you, it's like I said, it's your job. It's what you're doing for work. This could be maybe taking some kind of a risk here, you know? There's the Fool again. There's the Five of Pentacles. So some of you are, like I said, at a job right now. There's the Hermit again with the Two of Wands. It's the same message. Some of you are at a job right now that you might have really invested a lot of years, a lot of time, a lot of energy. Some of you might work in finance, or have even a business, you know. You could be at a career that you feel is no longer giving to you what you need. It's not meeting your needs anymore. Maybe it's not meeting financial needs. Maybe it's not making you happy. It's not making you feel fulfilled. It needs your attention. Maybe you're at a job where your boss doesn't appreciate you, where, you know, the Five of Pentacles can feel isolation, feeling shut out. Maybe you feel like you don't fit in at that place. This is time to explore other opportunities, other experiences. Let's see what this past life energy is here. Temperance, the Sun, Seven of Pentacles, Five of Cups, and the Ten of Swords. Okay, so this makes me feel that some of you, for those of you that do believe in past lives, okay, maybe there may have been I'm feeling two different messages here. Some of you may have been incredibly successful in your past life, and in this lifetime, there's a lot of frustration. There's a lot of feeling that you're not seeing the success that you want to see. So it's kind of like your past life self is trying to show this to you, that you are capable of more, you are worthy of more. And for others of you, I see this message as you may not have been so successful in your past life. And so you might be repeating certain cycles or certain patterns of behavior in this lifetime. And I feel like the lesson around that is you learning to face your fears. Okay? Or maybe in your past lifetime, you allowed those fears or insecurities or self-sabotaging thoughts to not let you live up to your potential, where you're going and doing it again in this lifetime, where your higher self is trying, or your ancestors are trying to give you guidance to help you to align with becoming the best version of yourself in this lifetime. But it requires you to open yourself up to new experiences, to step outside of your comfort zone with truly listening to your heart and doing things that bring you joy in your life. And if there's anything in your life right now that is not making you happy, that does not bring you joy, that is not giving you the success that you want. It's causing grief, disappointment. This is a time for taking action. This is a time for, some of you might have a wound surrounding the feminine energy, creative blocks, needing to work on worthiness, needing to believe in your ability to create wealth, to create abundance, to create in general. Okay, tapping into your creative potential. We have like I said, we have the pages here. The pages are kind of the child aspect of ourself. And that part of ourself, our inner child, is extremely creative. It has a huge imagination. It's where we truly believe in ourselves, right? It's our adult self that has all these limiting beliefs and fears and insecurities. But our childlike self is so just believes in ourselves, is confident, right? I'm sure you know, if you've ever talked to like a young child where you ask them, like, what do you want to do? What do you want to be when you grow up? And they just go on and on and on, and they can do anything, right? But we lose that as an adult through societal expectations, through religion, through culture, through conditioning, through programming, through, you know, people, family, friends, other influences that make us feel like we're not good enough, we're not capable, we can't do this, we can't do that, and it starts to affect us. Okay? All right, so that is all that I have for you, group number 2. I do hope this reading was helpful for you guys, and I will see you on the next one. Hi, group 3. So those of you that resonated with the arrow and the snowflake obsidian, this is going to be your reading today. So we're finding out a message from your ancestors. Really, this message could be about anything, any area of your life. We're just going to leave it open for whatever ancestors have to say. So you chose the arrow, which is card number 3. So let's see what the message is for group number 3 with the arrow. What is the message for the group number 3? I almost said the collective. What is the message for group 3? The 9 of Cups. The Hierophant in reverse. The 7 of Wands. The Page of Swords. What is the message from ancestors of group number 3? The Hanged Man. I'm sorry if you guys can hear my dog in the background. She's panting. We have the Magician, group 3, message from your ancestors. 5 of Cups, King of Cups, 9 of Pentacles, and the Death card. Okay. A message from your ancestors, group 3. I feel like I want to clarify this Hierophant in reverse. Ten of Pentacles. Okay. Uh-oh, okay. This feels like this might have to do with a relationship situation here. This might even have to do with family. Let's see. Why is this Page of Swords here? Six of Swords. Six of Pentacles. Okay. Okay, so this almost feels like there's some kind of situation here that you're needing to move away from. Okay? It could be a person, it could be a relationship, it could be a person that you're maybe even romantically involved with in some way. But I feel like what your ancestors are trying to show to you here is that the Page of Swords is a need for us to really pay attention. And to the Ace of Swords is here, which is about truth. It's about clarity. The Six of Swords is about moving on. Okay. Six of Pentacles, I feel like, is the thing here. The Six of Pentacles is about equal give and take, something that's reciprocal. So I feel like you have to ask yourself, with the situation that you're involved with right now, and some of you, like I said, it could be with family, it could be a friendship, it could be a relationship, it might be even be a job, that if your needs are not being met, okay, you're not receiving what you need, and you're finding yourself discouraged, disappointed, being let down, your ancestors are wanting you to see that, okay? Clearly, that this could be a time to move on, a time to detach, a time to maybe leave a job, maybe a friendship, a relationship, because it kind of feels, for some of you, you could be dealing with a person who's avoiding, who's running, who's maybe even deceptive or manipulative, or creating this. For some of you, I feel like the person could be creating some kind of illusion surrounding long-term relationship and commitment, and nothing's progressing, nothing's moving forward. Okay, some of you might be at a place of stagnancy in your life, with a job, with a friendship, with a relationship, with the situation that you're dealing with here, and there's a need for change. Okay. Why is the Hangman here? Knight of Wands, Ace of Cups. And the Six of Cups in reverse. Some of you might be needing to simply move on from a connection in which there's an imbalance, okay, with the person reciprocating feelings, emotions, and I feel like your ancestors are encouraging you to move on towards other opportunities, okay? Now, for those of you that are single, it might more so be that this is a time for healing for you, if you're healing from a past breakup, a divorce, you know, certainly if you're grieving a loss of a relationship, you're going through a breakup right now, certainly make that your priority, make the healing your priority. With letting the past go, healing, honor that. Bringing yourself to a place where you are more emotionally grounded, stable, feeling good, and then you're able to open yourself up to new love opportunities, okay? But like, let's just say you're at a job, and the job workplace environment is, you're not getting along with people. People are manipulative. You have a bad boss. You have coworkers who are not very warm, not very caring, not very, it more so looks like we're getting ourselves out of an environment that doesn't work. Okay? So I feel like your ancestors are wanting you to focus on change. moving away from something that doesn't serve you, whatever that is, fill in the blank. Okay. Why is the Death card here? 10 of Wands. Yeah. For some of you, this could be a situation. Some of you, it's a relationship that's holding you back. Okay. Or it could be that you're holding yourself back from something, from moving forward with something. And with the Strength card here, sometimes we do need bravery, courage, confidence, strength to leave something, to move on from something. And that's really what I feel like the message is here for you. What is this Nine of Cups? Nine of Cups is about happiness. It's about fulfillment. Some of you, I feel like your ancestors are trying to guide you towards your destiny, towards the people, places, situations that you're meant to experience and have in your life in the near future. So it could be that your ancestors are trying to guide you away from something that is not in alignment for you, to help you to align with what your destiny is, whether that is your destined career path, your destined relationship, the right friendships in your life. So it's needing to kind of pay close attention to whether or not we're receiving what we need at the job, in the friendship, in the relationship situation that we're dealing with, and really opening ourselves up and focusing on moving forward, having more balance in our life. So this is a time for reassessing and reevaluating and being super honest with ourselves about whether or not the things that we're putting our time and our energy into right now are inspiring us in a positive way. Are they feeding to us love or growth or success, or the things that really help us? So this is inspired change here, something that you're a part of right now. I don't know what it is. Like I said, it's going to be different for all of you, but it's you acknowledging that something needs to change, something's coming to an end because something is not meeting your needs. 5 of Pentacles in the world. Okay? So this is your ancestors inspiring some kind of change here, and the change is a positive one. It's helping you to move towards your wish fulfillment, towards your destiny, and there's a need for you to trust that if you let this go, whatever that is, that you're going to align with something better, something that's more in alignment for you, but you have to have the strength and the courage to let go. And I know it's easier said than done because we're human. We're human, and it's not always, change is not easy. We are, as a collective, we fear change. Okay? But we've got to learn to push past it. To trust where your soul is guiding you, where your ancestors are guiding you. Okay? So let's get some advice here for group 3. Longing. Meander. Yeah, and I feel like it's like your soul is trying to tell you that maybe what you're a part of right now, whatever this is, it's an illusion. It's not something that's truly meant for you. And your soul is longing to just be free, to explore, to, align with what you're meant to. The divine is trying to protect you. Ancestors are trying to protect you from this illusion. Maybe it's something, like I said, that's not aligned for you, something that you don't see. We have concealed here. So what is the illusion? Maybe it's an illusion of happiness. Maybe it's what we think we want, and your ancestors are like, no. Ace of Swords, truth, clarity, 10 of Wands, Wheel of Fortune. Some of you are resisting change. You're resisting change, the need for change, holding yourself back from flowing, from basically, because the Wheel of Fortune is aligning us with our destiny. And sometimes when the universe is saying change is needed, we resist it. We want to hold on to the job, to the relationship, to the friendship, and it's just not aligned. So your ancestors are trying to protect you here from something that you don't see. Maybe it's a person, or no matter what you do, you're trying to make it work, and trying to make it work. And your ancestors are saying it's not working for a reason. It's not meant to. Okay? Why is concealed here? 4 of Cups. So some of you, this is a blind spot. It's something that you're not seeing. Something you're ignoring. Judgment is at the bottom. Judgment is a wake-up call. It's also about answering the call of the soul. The soul's calling. Your ancestors are trying to get you to align with what your soul's calling in, or to get your attention in general of something that you're ignoring, not paying attention to. Some of you might be in a relationship that needs to come to an end, a marriage that needs to come to an end, a job that's no longer serving you. You know, you could be having opportunity where the universe is kind of trying to inspire this change and for you to kind of have this new beginning, and you keep pushing it away, ignoring it, because some of you might be super comfortable with your career. You might be like, oh, I've already invested 10 years here and I'm not going to walk away now, even though I'm unhappy and unsatisfied and not fulfilled. And your answers are like, you got to shift, you got to change. You know, some of you might even be thinking like, I've put so much time, so much energy, and you're feeling called to another path. Like you want to feel more fulfillment. Okay, so it is a need for us to answer there. Look at that, 10 of Cups. A need for us to answer that call because it's leading you towards your 10 of Cups, whatever that is for you. Okay, it's going to be different. We all have a different dream, right? A different vision of what we want and what is going to feel fulfilling for us. You know, some of you it could be entrepreneurship. Some of you it could be moving to a specific destination or living your life a certain way that's going to be fulfilling for you. And your soul is calling you towards that. So your ancestors are trying to help you to see it so that you're not caught up in an illusion here of holding yourself back onto, you know, something that you feel is what you're meant to do, or the relationship that's not perfect for you, that's not right for you. Not perfect. Nothing's perfect. But maybe just a person who's not aligned, the job that's not aligned. Okay. All right. So I'm going to leave this here for you, group 3. I do hope this was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next reading.